Thank you for joining me for this massive episode of literally loads of things I've done to the car since my last video update. I've been basically incredibly busy. I've spent about 10 days putting all of this together. It's been a marathon, and that's because we are now 4 weeks away from going to Morocco. So I'm sprinting to get everything completed. It's going into the workshop to get the electrical bits done. So the winch, the fridge, the lights, the air compressor, the internal chargers, everything has been done at a workshop. But I need to get a couple of things done. So what I've done here is some videos I've already recorded, some I haven't. So I'll play the content I've already recorded for you. And then once you've seen that, we'll then come back to this and I'll show you everything I've put together that hasn't been recorded. And once I've then gotten the whole car fitted and ready, I'll do a proper walk around for you then. Hello people, thank you for joining me for this episode. Today is winch day, so I found this used winch on eBay. It's in fairly good condition. It's not one winch, all of those really incredibly good ones. It's a standard one. It's I think Warrior Samurai. It's a mid-range winch. I didn't want to spend too much money on it anyway. I may not need it, but actually I know it's a good practice to have one, especially as we are traveling solo to Morocco. But it's in good working order, and I'll probably be doing a bit of restoration to it before fitting it to the Defender. So it's about an hour's drive away from London. Let's do it. I'm excited and follow the journey. They've just shown me this in their workshop. It's for sale. Kitchen over there, bedding, extra sleeping area. Picked up the winch and here it is. Oh, lock the car. Forgot about that. Let's unlock the car. Car is now unlocked. Yes. So I'll just put this aside. It comes with Devon 4x4 air conditioned bumper, which this is quite expensive. I think brand new is about 280 or 300 pounds, something like that. And this is the winch. It's Samurai winch. It's used, I don't mind that, but it's in excellent working order. It's been tested, and it already comes with the wiring as well, so I don't have to buy that, and the cutoff switch. I can save money on all of that. I'll see if I can replace this because it's looking sorry for itself. But otherwise, I'm very happy with it. I'll probably be respraying part of the bumper to bring it back to life, and the winch as well. So this is just the collection, and then I'll go home and later during the week or next week I'll do the work to restore it and then hopefully fit it myself. But I'll just be installing it on the car, and then much later I'll get it wired up properly. Hello people, so it's been a few weeks since I bought this winch and also the bumper. I'll come back to the bumper in a minute. For the winch, I can't remember. I think it's I can't remember what these are called again. It's got a funny name. But my plan originally was to remove this and just swap it for something new. But actually, I can't get it out of this. It just won't come out, and it was built like that to not come out. Some you can sort of open up like something like this here, then take it out, but this doesn't come with that. In order to get this off, I'd have to undo the entire rope, which just I don't want to do. So my plan now is I've taken out this foil thin on here, and I'm gonna try some homemade methods or tricks for treating oxidization. This is aluminium. So I think I can use initially soap water to clean it, but this looks very stubborn and very ingrained. So I may end up using, I think it's vinegar, white vinegar and hot water. But before that, I'll use soap and cloth to clean that, let it dry up, and then use white vinegar and warm water, hot water, to sort of douse it in it or dip it in it. And hopefully I'll find a way to do that. If not, then I'll get industrial grade aluminium deoxidizer to treat the oxidization going on there. Once that has been done, I'll then prime it and I'll respray this black. I'll tape the rope up to stop it from being stained with the paint. So paint this black. I'll find a way, if possible, to paint this black as well. And because I like to be ambitious, I'll find a way to paint this white whilst everything stays the way it is. Yeah, I like to make things hard for myself. But that's the plan for this. And then for the actual bumper, it's a Devon 4x4 bumper. I'll just clean it up. And then if there are any rust spots, there aren't really that many, I'll just sort of apply a touch of paint here and there to just sort of get it looking the part before I install it. So that's the plan for this, and then I'll let you know how I carry on, how I get on rather. Cool. Day 2. So spent a bit of time sanding this down, and it looks much better now. So I used white vinegar and hot water to clean this up properly, and then a thorough sanding down. It actually looks very good. I feel I could potentially just put it on here, which I'll come back to this in a minute. But I'm just gonna finish what I had intended to do, which is to respray this black. But I think it's going to be awkward, and you can see I've already taped this up. But my first plan of action is to respray this bit black first, which is going to take some time to do and very awkward and tricky, but I think I can do that. Once this is done, respray black and it's dried properly, I then move on to respraying this black as well. It's going to be awkward doing it because I don't really have a long leash. So, but yeah, I'll figure something out. Coming back to here, this is all done, resprayed. Yeah, looks good, looks neat, looks clean. So done with the bumper itself. Now working on fully restoring the winch. And here is the finished product. As you can see, I think I've done a reasonably good job all around. It's a nice, smooth, black finish, which I'm very happy with. So that's good. So that's done. The bumper is already done. It's very clear. And this is done too. Just put this down so I don't scratch it. This is done too. So next thing will be I'll take this tape off, and then I'll tape this up and spray this white. Wish me luck. I'll see how that goes. Here is the finished product. That is looking pristine white. That's black, that's black. You don't want to know what I had to do to get this looking white and not get that stained. But it's all done now. I'm very pleased with the final product. This has a satin black paint on it, hard wearing tough paint. Pleased with that. This is looking great. So in a few days time, I've got some guys from the gym coming to help out and to get some heavy lifters to fit the bumper and winch to the Defender. Hello people, pardon the wind. Thanks for joining me for this session. It's happening. So the winch is going up front today and the winch bumper. But before that, I've got steering guard in there to install as well. So it's going to be, this week is going to be a very busy week. A lot is going to happen to this car over the next couple of days. I'm literally transforming it. I think it's going to be the biggest transformation I've had in quite a time. So let's do this, let's get on with it. It's very windy, wish us luck. I've taken off the front grille to give me good access to these bolts here.
so I can get this out. All right, so front bumper is off, relatively quick to do. Next thing to do is now to attach the sump guard. Zoom out a bit. So this bracket, one nut goes into there. This is already empty, so it goes into there too. And the third bolt goes into that. So once I fitted the bracket, I then attach the sump guard, and that should hopefully be it. And I've got Ash from the gym here helping out. Let's do this. Ash is getting that bracket tightened up a little bit. And then I'm gonna loosen this bolt over here and should add the bracket on this side. Can then add the sump guard. It's coming together. Sump guard is on. Ash is tightening that up. I'm gonna tighten up the bumper, and then the winch is next. But it's looking good. Okay, are you ready? It's done. Thanks to my friend Ash from gym. He helped out. Check this out. That looks mean. It's a clean look. It's not too much. It doesn't stick out too much. It's a perfect setup for me. It's just a nice, calm look. I just love it. Everything works well. I love the red going on around because I've got red. The top over there matches that red. The toning, the color coordination, everything works. I've got red over there. It's a nice, everything has come together really well. And then of course, the steering guard as well. Looks nice under there. Now it's not wired up. I've tucked in the wire over there. I'll get everything wired up properly later. But for now, here it is. And I also got a plate holder, which will go in between the house lid or whatever this is called, and the winch goes in between here. That's going to be delivered over the next week or so. For now, the reg is there. Very soon, I'll move it over there. So, got two things installed today: the steering guard, the winch, and winch bumper. And my God, I love it. I mean, I can't love it enough. It looks incredible. Hello, people. Right. So next on the list is a spare wheel carrier. So today I've only got about an hour to spare. So my plan is, and I'll show you the spare wheel carrier shortly. My plan is to just take off the spare wheel, take off the actual carrier on the car, and of course before then take off the trims, the interior trims, and also let me just show you. Apologies, take this off. I already took this off a bit last week, but take everything off properly. Take this off. So it's just to prepare myself, prepare myself for the actual install. So I don't have enough time right now. Do it bits and pieces, get it ready and prepared, and then come back tomorrow and do the full install. So I'll let you know how I get on. Cool. All right, so I'm back on day number 2, hoping to complete this project today. Next step now is to fit this plate to the back of the door. Once I've done that, I'll then proceed to drill the second hole I need in here, as I mentioned previously. And I think once that has been done, it's then just mounting the kit. So let's do this. This is where we've gotten to. Wheel is off, wheel carrier is off, door trims all off. The speaker trim is off. That's the door trim there. On this side, everything looks clean. Now, one thing I realized with my Defender, I imagine it's probably the case with some other newer Defenders too, is with the Mantex spare wheel carrier, you're meant to use the rivet holes in a way. But for the older cars, I think, or some other cars, these rivets are closer, sort of like this. But mine are evenly spaced out. So thankfully, I didn't just head into it and drill the 2 holes. I sort of checked, which means I'm gonna have to drill through this rivet hole and then drill a new hole here to match this. But something to watch out for those who have maybe 2014 and onwards Defender. or that may not be the case, but that's the case in my case. Yeah, so that's everything off now. Next stage, I'll come back tomorrow, drill the holes, and then install the spare wheel carrier. The back plate is now on the door, and the next stage is to drill this hole. The holes have been drilled. We've also applied silicone. It's not silicone. What's it called? We've applied this to seal it up and prevent water going in from there. So we're going to put this in now with this backing plate here on the inside. We've installed this here. This here takes a bit of manpower. Tighten it up. This is now fitted. We're going to put a tire on and see what it looks like. I've got a bit of an update. So I completed the fit. Looked really nice. I then went to put the wheel on and realized that actually the wheel was rubbing quite a bit on here. You can see the tire mark over there, quite a bit here. And also this bit, you can see the scratch over there. This bit here was eating into the tire quite a bit, because honestly the tire is quite chunky. I don't know if I can find where it was eating into it, but here you go, over here. You see that? So I thought that's a bad idea, let's fix it. So I went online to find a solution, couldn't find any. Well, I did find one. I got this kit from Defender Upgrades. Definitely worth checking them out. I searched online. That was the only company, or is the only company, that sells particularly this kit here. This space you can get from most shops online, but they're the only ones selling this online. So this is an adapter kit. It bolts into where the original long thin, this thing goes into that. And then I got this spacer as well to keep it sort of stable and stop any rattling. So I hope when I fit the wheel back on, it should push the tire forward by this much. Therefore, that should limit any contact with this and with this. So I'll put the wheel on and we'll see what happens. Problem fixed, no more rubbing. And you actually have quite a lot of thread in there, and you can see if I move closer, this pretty much touches the rim. So it's a tight, snug fitment. And here is the real success. You can see that gap. So this is where it was eaten into it from here. And that's now taken care of. Nice gap there. So yeah, all in all, great work. Only negative is that you've got to buy other bits to make this work spot on. If you've got huge tires like I do. If you've got slimmer tires, then you're probably fine with just having this spacer on. But I'm pleased with the work overall. So I've already put this trim on. I need to put the handle back on, put this back on, and that should be all the fitments for this bit completed. Yeah. So next thing to do is give you updates on what I've done with the lights, and then I still need to do the bulkhead lights as well. But for now, spare wheel carrier completed. Important detail I forgot to mention, this is now done. I am going to be getting this threaded properly for my security bolt to fit around it, because people pinch things in my area, so I've got to make sure it's secure. So that'll be threaded properly. I'll take it to my mechanic to do that for me. Yeah. All right, let's now talk about the things I did that were not captured earlier. So first things first, when I installed the winch bumper and the winch, I hadn't received delivery of this plate holder. It's a terra firma plate holder, and at the time I put the reg in front of behind the windscreen, but I've now installed it, and tonight's fit, I used double-sided tape to glue it to the plate, and then I also used screws, bolts, to bolt it down for extra security. Yeah, so that's that done. And then up front again, I've got two snow coils. I think naturally you just have one, but I like the look of two. I had one on my 90 and it looked cool, and I thought, okay, if I were to get a new Defender, I'd have two on, and I think it's just a cool look.
Of course there's a functional, but mostly in the winter. Again, I don't know if it's actually going to be helpful having this on when we're in Morocco, maybe dust or things like that. I do not know, but I just got them for aesthetic reasons, besides stopping leaves from going inside the aircon thing in the winter. Okay, next thing is the raised air intake. Also got this from, most of the parts I've actually used, I bought from LR Parts, a really good company. I'd recommend them. I bought some other parts from other suppliers too. I think LR Parts generally across the board have really good prices. Other suppliers do have some cheaper prices too. But anyway, got this from LR Parts, the raised air intake. It's a terra firma one. You see the brand there. It's really easy to install. I bought one from a 90 and I was put off because I thought I didn't get all the instructions then. So I thought I'd have to take this wheel arch off and then the pins and all of the stress that comes with that. But actually, this came with clear instructions and all I had to do was just drill 2 holes in here and then 2 holes to hold this down. And then you sort of fit this into the existing hole. Once you've taken the existing fin off, I can't remember what it's called, the existing vent. Once you've taken the vent off, just slide this in and then just screw it once you've drilled the holes, and that's pretty much it. Very easy to install, and honestly, I think it looks really, really cool on the Defender. I think it really gives it that adventure, expedition, overlanding look. And of course, it's also this is functional to make sure there's better air going in, especially when we're driving through dust. So that's the raised air intake. Now let's talk about the light. I find this very, very exciting. This is probably something I've chosen to spoil myself with in this build. Is I've literally gone all out on the lights, and these are, probably top 2 best lights in the industry right now. They're strands lights and they have a dual light function. So obviously it has the normal beam, then you've got this thing here gives you either amber or white light. And I watch a lot of American trail and American trucks and rigs, and I like how they often have lights on their sort of version of bulkheads of their cars or their trucks. So I've always wanted to have one of these, and I'm really glad I'm able to get these bulkhead lights. Honestly, it's an overkill. I've got about 7 off-road lights. I probably only just need 1 or 2, maximum 3. But I've got 2 on the bulkhead. Now let me show you the problem I had. I'm gonna try to climb up the car. So the first issue was with installing the light bar over there. And the initial bolts I was given, it just wouldn't work with this rail. So I ended up having to drill through the rails. So I'll show it to you over here, excuse me. So I drew through here and there to then fit it the right way around. So it sits down really well, really nice and flush. I'm glad I was able to do this, and I had put some things on Instagram when I was fitting it. I was struggling and people advised me what to do. My alternative would have been to put it on top, but I don't think it's a good look on top. I think it looks better on the bottom. So I'm glad I found a solution to fit it on the bottom. When I have some time, I'll probably cut this off a little bit here so it's not too long. Whilst we're at the top, this headlight actually was meant to go to the bottom. I'll show you that later, but that didn't work. I'll tell you the reason later. So I ended up fitting these to the top. I think they actually look good on top. Again, I had to drill through to let sort of these 3 bolts through, but it's a good look. Whilst we're on top, we'll come back to the lights later. I then also installed these boxes. I got them from LR Parts as well, but I think they are made by Brit Parts, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think they should be strong enough to withstand the heat and the use I'm going to put them through driving through Morocco. So we'll see what happens there. It's just we've got a loud bicycle over there. So I fitted these a couple of days ago, the boxes, and they are sort of very strong and steady, and I don't have anything in them yet. The roof tent you've already seen, so I won't talk too much about that. Let's climb back down and I'll show you where the 2 lights So these are 9 inches strand lights. Also have the same light pattern, so you can have white light or amber, here and around. And I think it's gonna look so cool where I could have amber lights here, so running lights, white in the light bar, and then amber again on top, or switch that around, or just whatever combination I wanna have. I definitely have spot myself with the lights. I just wanted to do that just for, you know, for the gram. So my original plan for those 2 huge spotlights, my plan was to have them here, and I bought a kit from Masai, and I really like that product. They do really good product, but this kit just couldn't fit the way I wanted it to fit. I ended up sending that back. But my original plan was to put the lights here, and actually I'm glad it didn't work out, because it then transpired that I would have stopped air from flowing through to the engine if I put those huge lights there, especially especially because of the driving we're going to be doing sort of around France, Spain and Morocco in the hottest part of the year. So I needed to keep this bit free for air to flow through. So it meant I had no choice but to put them on top, and I actually think it looks good on top. So some things didn't work out, but eventually ended up working out. So that's all I've done in the front, and of course you will have seen in the videos the bashment plate over there at the bottom. Now none of these have been wired up, so I'm taking the car into the workshop end of this week. I'll spend a week in the workshop for everything to be wired up. On the side, what have we done? So I had sort of rails here. I've taken them both off to get them resprayed, so they should be ready. I'll put them on before I take the car to the workshop for the wiring to be done. The mud tracks are more here for sort of aesthetic reasons. I was going to a London Defender meets 2 weeks ago, so I just wanted to get them on to just look good. But I did the actual mud tracks, I've been taking both of them off, and I've got a table, a fold out table going on this side, so these would then fit on the outside of the fold out table. That's the plan for the mud track, and the fold out table I've already received, but I'm going to wait to fit that once I'm done